Alright, we're gonna get our stuff packed up and get moving a little earlier today. Alright, we're rolling a little earlier this morning, not terribly early. It's left 9, and we're gonna get a bit of an earlier start because up there the sky's starting to get a little dark off that direction. I don't think it's gonna storm. I don't want to be out here in this meadow if it starts. It's gonna get kind of muddy. We're gonna make our way back to Grays River Road. They're triple divide. And then there's a couple of loops off of Grays River Road on the opposite side, and then one on this side we're going to do, and then I think make our way through the McDougall Gap. So that's the tentative plan, and we'll see how it goes and see if there's anything interesting that happens along the way. Some sort of mountain chicken. Go hang out on the side of the road. I'm not going to bother you. Bye, mountain chicken. Toy Story reel. There's a moose there. Center camera. Try to get a photo of him. So we're gonna try to make a big loop here through the Salt River Range. And the roads do make a loop, but our main turn is 64-inch travel only. So they've got it set up really, I guess, just for side-by-sides. So we're gonna go out here just a little bit and explore these peaks. There's a couple of them that are snow-capped back here. And then we'll find a place to turn the trailer around and backtrack back out. Probably head towards McDougall Gap, since we can't make this loop on this side of the Grays River corridor. Alright, we found ourselves a spot up here in the Salt River Range to take a little bit of a break and have some lunch. Set up some chairs here and kind of admire the peaks. And I'm getting ready to make some green lentils in the Patagonia food jar. Hang out for a bit. The road goes on a little bit further, but I think it's about to get really narrow, which gets problematic turning the trailer around if you need to. So, lunchtime it is. Let that soak for a little bit and should be ready to go. All right, we had a nice lunch, had some mussels and green lentils. Steve had some sort of lunchable looking snack. We're gonna head back off the mountain now, make our way over towards McDougall, since these trails are mostly side by side only from this point on. So here we go. Alright, this is the McDougall Gap. Making our way out of the Grays River through up over the McDougall Gap. A little different climate here, a little bit more dry than down on the Grays proper. But still very remote and very pretty. Pretty dusty. Last couple of days driving. Could use a little rain shower to calm this dust down, but it would turn into a muddy mess for sure. Yeah, it's a very cool section. I wonder if this is the gap.
Yeah, I think we're getting to the top pretty quick here.
I'd have to zoom out on the map to be sure. Almost feels like it's too far east.
It feels to me like we looped right around it.
It's possible. Climbing off the McDougall Gap Road on this, there's a loop spur loop. It goes down to Cottonwood Creek and
Really nice pools down there if you could get to them.
and Nylander Creek. Just looking around, seeing if we can find a campsite that we like or what's in the area. We may stay, we may go. No definite agenda just yet. Well, that little spur road that you see there on the map didn't end up going anywhere. Went out there to an elk camp, and somebody had a trailer that they had dropped, camper trailer, they had dropped out there. So we're making our way back to the McDougall Gap road. We're gonna meander along it a little bit more. As I said, we really don't have an agenda or really. All right, we are outside of Pinedale. Actually on Green River Road, I think is what it's called. And we're up near the headwaters of the Green River. It's the Wind River mountain range in front of us. And we're backtracking back in here. There's a couple of lakes up here, the Green River Lakes. We're gonna see what that's like. There's actually a Forest Service campground there. Maybe a little bit more civilized and populated for our taste. But there's plenty of national forest land around here, and there's another Forestry Service road that we went on last year that was pretty impassable. I think Steve's passing that one now, and if we have to, we'll backtrack back down it and maybe camp around Little Sheep Mountain again.
5.6 miles to the lake.
But we're apparently 5.6 miles to the lake, and gonna kind of press in here and see what it's like. There's the green over there if you can see it. It's about 35 feet wide right here, with moving pretty good. The flow's pretty good, and it gets narrower obviously as we get closer and closer up here to the headwaters. So stay tuned and we'll see where it takes us. Center camera there, that's one of the most famous peaks in the Wind River. I'll have to look it up later to see what the name of it is, but this road's got a fantastic view of it. It's a little bit of a log wagon road going back in here, but that's kind of what we're looking for. A little deep rutted mud off the right hand side there. Anyway, the Wind River back here are really pretty. The western side of the range is reasonably accessible. Eastern side of the range is in a Native Peoples reservation, reservation. And you need to get a trespass permit from them if you're going to go in on the east side. Kind of cool that that one cliff, if you can see it there, looks like it's just been ripped open from the other one to create that big giant canyon going up the middle there. Pretty awesome. Right here on the banks of the Green, which you can kind of still see right out here beside us. So we're gonna.
Yosemite Valley somehow.
Yeah, Steve's saying it reminds me of Yosemite Valley. It does, for sure, look like that. With a lot less people. So anyway, we're gonna look around and see what we can find for a campsite, and update you in a bit. All right, we found us a spot right here on the banks of the Green River. We are a couple hours before sunset, as you can see there. Getting the kitchen set up and cleaning a little bit. Went down and cast a line a couple times just to annoy the fish to let them know that they were safe here. And we're getting some nice light on the Wind Rivers here, off in the distance. A few clouds, but I think we're gonna have clear weather tonight. So I think we just landed another pretty nice campsite. So set up here, relax, and maybe do a little food here in a little bit. So, see you in a bit. You're a good boy, Scoochie. Best travel doggy anybody could ask for. Scoochie. What are you here? You on patrol? Does it make you sleepy? Yeah? No. All right, here on the banks of the Green River for dinner, Steve picked up some bacon wrapped pork fillets, interestingly enough from Willamette Valley in Oregon, where he's from. And then I've got some fingerling potatoes that I put in there with olive oil, salt, pepper, and garlic. And I think those two are going to constitute dinner tonight. What do you think, Scout? He's just ready for it to be done. He doesn't care beyond that.
He's ready for what to be done?
The food. Alright, here's the finished product. We're getting ready to dig into it. Steve's already cut his up. Let's see what it's like. So you and I have talked about this a lot backpacking. But I'm convinced that food tastes better when you're out in the wilderness and camping.
Absolutely.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, we're simple tonight. We're like a pork, some potatoes, a little olive oil, salt, pepper, and garlic.
It's a humble meal, but it tastes so good.
Oh, it's so good.
To your point, if we were sitting in our dining room at home, it'd just be another meal.
Yeah.
But out here,
and we'd eat twice as much. Like, that's the one thing that I've noticed after being out here for 6 weeks now. It's like I'm down 5 belt loops. And I'm not running as much as I was running at home. Like, I ran a lot to get ready for this trip. But just, I consistently doing 15, 18,000 steps a day just around camp.
yeah.
And I'm not eating as much. Like, even when the boys were with me, we'd cook a T-bone and feed the 3 of us. It'd be a T-bone and rice or something like that. Like you said, a simple meal, a humble meal. But it's so good out here.
Well, that's what I remember from living on the ranch for those 3 summers when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
12, 13, 14, those 3 summers I lived on the ranch over at Natural Bridges over between Casper and Douglas. Not too far away from here, actually.
Yeah.
And you wake up early in the morning, you have a good hearty breakfast, and then you work your butt off, you know? And then about 3 o'clock you come in for dinner.
Yeah.
And then you have a light meal, like a supper in the evening. And right after supper, sun goes down, you go to sleep.
Yeah.
Because you got to get up again 5 o'clock.
You do it again
in the morning
the next
do it
day.
all over again.
And at home, how many sunsets do you notice?
Well, where I live, it's hard to watch the sunset.
Because it's cloudy and rainy.
Well, and because we live in a canyon, so you can't really see the sunset, you know?
Well, that's like, in Blue Ridge, we have a pretty good night sky because we don't have a lot of light pollution, and we have some pretty decent sunsets. But I can count very few sunsets that I remember from Blue Ridge. And on this trip, I can count very few sunsets that I've missed.
What we just got here tonight, the sunset, spectacular.
Yeah, I got some of it on video. We'll work it in, but just really cool. I mean, it just changes things slow down. You really focus on what's real. Like your comment you made the other day when we were hiking in the meadow really kind of set with me. It's like, this is the real world. Like everything else is just an illusion. It's fake. This is real. Those wallflowers.
And when it really hits home is when your gas tank on top of your car explodes.
Yeah.
And you're smelling gas on your car.
Yeah.
And the dust is just blowing in the windows. And you're like, everything's chaotic.
Yeah.
And there's some points in the day when you're like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Right.
Right? But then a moment like this, you just think,
this is
why wouldn't I do this?
Why wouldn't I be here, right? How could I live my life and miss all of this?
Yeah.
What do you think, Scout? What's your opinion on the subject? His opinion on the subject is that pork is wrapped in bacon, and if I don't get a piece of it, I'm not protecting you guys from anything that comes into camp tonight.
There's a little bacon for you, buddy.
Yeah. Good boy.
Now he's coming back for more.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm really appreciating the fact that we have so much more time to just explore this trip.
Yeah.